Probably one of my all-time favorite books. Definitely read this book. This book changed my mindset around money. Everything hit that she said. I was like, yes, yes. Highly recommend that one. He gives you so many tools, tips, tangible practices to really grasp your subconscious. That book single-handedly changed my anxiety. If you want to up-level your life, then you need to be reading self-help books, specifically these 10 books I'm about to recommend to you. I have read so many books. You don't understand. I've been into self-development for almost a decade now, and I think I've read probably over 100 books, and these are the top 10 that I would recommend for anyone who's trying to change their life and improve themselves mentally, physically, emotionally, their career, their relationships, all of it. You need to know these 10 books. Let's just jump right into it. But hello, hi, if you don't know me, I'm Rebecca Lee. I am your wellness and self-development big sis. Think of my channel as your safe space for digestible self-development content, and I'm posting self-development videos every single Sunday, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any videos. I also have a podcast called the Within You Podcast, and we will start posting those videos on YouTube as well every Wednesday. Now let's get into it. Number one, we have probably one of my all-time favorite books, which is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Power of Now is one of the first books I read on my journey, specifically right after I got broken up with, and wow, this book completely transformed my mind. And this book specifically helped me realize the power of this present moment and how much I was not living in the present moment. It really was eye-opening for me to see how much I was living in the past or the future and feeling anxiety over all these different scenarios I'd make up in my head, when actually the only moment that exists is now. It is the present. And so if you struggle with anything around not living in the present moment, and I'll give you a hint, everyone struggles with this, then you will benefit from reading this book. And it is such a great introductory book to self-help and even spirituality a little bit if you're into that. So I highly recommend The Power of Now. Book number 2, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero is one of my favorite books. I promise I'm not gonna say that about every single one of these books, but they're all just amazing. You Are a Badass, if you want a book that is easily read and just everything just makes sense, like everything hit that she said. I was like, yes, yes, I agree with that. Yes, I feel that. Like, it was just so beautifully written and so motivating at the same time. It felt like kind of like your big sis energy, but also like here's a kick in the ass to really realize your true potential and your true power. Then you got to read this book. I highly recommend You Are a Badass for every single person to read, especially if you feel like you're not fully living out your full potential. Book number 3. This one's a more advanced book, but we have Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. So this one's a little bit thicker. It might take a little bit more, thought to reading it, because it does get a little bit into like quantum physics type of vibe, but don't worry, I'm not into that stuff, but yeah, I still could understand that book. That book single-handedly changed my anxiety. I used to be someone that had the worst anxiety ever, and I would let my mind spiral and go down these really negative thought patterns and would just continue like this constantly going down. And after reading this book, it like awoke something in my mind to cut those patterns, like to really cut the patterns that the behaviors I was acting in, and how to completely change new thought patterns, beliefs, how to reprogram your mind and your body to feel differently. Like, wow, I love this book. I love Dr. Joe Dispenza. I love his meditations. And so this one is probably my favorite of all of his books, although he has a lot of really good ones. Book number 4, my girl, Louise Hay. I love her. She has amazing, so many amazing books, but probably my favorite of hers is the You Can Heal Your Life. That was the first book I read from her. The second book I read was I think it was called like The Power is Within You, but You Can Heal Your Life just is so amazing. I love the way she writes. Everything that she said was so spot on, and it just really helped me to look introspective and see how I could take responsibility for certain things in my life, and how I could then become intentional to then have that self-awareness to move my life, shift my life, my emotions, my thought patterns, my beliefs in a direction to the life that I actually wanted to live. So this book was really helpful for me to take kind of like a holistic 360 view of my life and make sure it was going in the direction that I wanted it to, by taking ownership and having that self-awareness to take ownership of it. So I highly recommend all all of Louise Hay's books. She's incredible. Book number 5, we have The Mountain Is You. If you feel like you're someone who's just really struggles with self-sabotage, and maybe you don't consciously understand it, but you just know that every time you try to start something, you never finish it. Anytime you set a goal, you never end up completing the goal. Anytime you say you're gonna go to the gym next week, you never do it. Like, you just make all these promises to yourself and you never actually complete it, then I would highly recommend reading The Mountain Is You, because she breaks down all of the ways that we self-sabotage, and you might not even consciously know it, but you probably are self-sabotaging if you keep stopping yourself from, going to the places and doing the things that you actually want. You might not even be real, conscious of it. And so she breaks down all the different ways that we self-sabotage and how you can actually get out of those patterns so that you can live your life to the fullest and actually accomplish your goals and your dreams and tap into your full potential, as you should. Book recommendation number 6. We have The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. This was actually the first book I read, I think, in the self-help space, because this guy I was seeing at the time put me onto it. I was in college, I think, still at the time, and I was like fascinated by it. So I started rereading it again when I got home here, and because I found the book and I was like, oh my gosh, I should reread it. And damn, I forgot how good this book is. I have an even more appreciation for it now after years of being on my journey than when I first started. But anyone on their journey, anywhere, any point you're at, you can read this book, because I love the topic of the subconscious mind. I might have to make a whole full video just on that, but I love the topic of it because it just is so powerful. Once you realize that our subconscious minds, not our conscious brain, is running the show of our life, that is when everything changes and clicks, and you can really start to make real changes in your subconscious, which therefore you can make real changes in your life and your beliefs and your habits and the things you're manifesting. Like, it really all does start in our subconscious. So highly recommend that one. He gives you so many tools, tips, tangible practices to really grasp your subconscious and shake it and make it the belief systems that you want. We all should be doing this work because it's so powerful. Book number 7. I think this is number 7. The Game of Life and How to Play It. This one I read actually pretty recently, and it's such an easy read. If you're looking for a quick, easy read, this one is it. And it actually was written so long ago, but all the principles still hold true. And I really enjoyed this book because it infused a very nice, like, spiritual element to it also, like believing in some higher power and the universe, and it just made it all sound very tangible, even though it was a little bit more spiritual. It really broke things down in such like a simple way. So if you're looking for an easy, good read on how to master the game of life, because life is just a game, and if you're not playing it, you're missing out. So just think about it like a video game. You keep leveling up. That's all it is. So read the book if you want to learn how to master the game of life, essentially. Book number 8. This one I'm still in the middle of reading, but I thought I would include it because I've been really enjoying it. And that one is called The Big Leap. This one really tackles the idea of upper limits, which essentially means that we all have this like upper limit thermostat that we set for ourselves, like how good things can get for us before we mess it up. Because subconsciously deep down, we don't feel like we're fully worthy or believing that we deserve it. So we have to break down those limits, those barriers, those beliefs, so we can crush through them and become that best version of ourselves, and we can get all the things we want because that's what we deserve. You know what I'm saying? So I highly recommend that one. I still haven't finished it, but I'm gonna add it to the list because that's a good one. Book recommendation number 9. We have Atomic Habits by James Clear. And I actually listened to this one. I did a voice book or audiobook for this one, and I remember listening to it like every morning on my morning walks, and it was such a great epic read to kick my booty into high gear when it came to my habits, because I'm not somebody who's like the most like organized, I guess, type A, and with my habits and strictness and whatever. So having that book was super, super helpful. I really love how he broke down everything. It was all very like statistic based and just was very motivating about kicking my booty into high gear when it came to habits. Like, honestly, this is a book that I want to reread right now again. And lastly, book number 10, we're bringing back Jen Sincero for You Are a Badass at Making Money. If you're interested in money mindset, money manifestation, the energetics of money, and how to align yourself to be in the frequency of wealth and attracting money, definitely read this book. This book changed my mindset around money. and helped me see money as an energy that I could tap into, and really was the beginning of my journey with money manifestation and money mindset. And so I haven't talked about this too much, but I think money mindset is super, super important. And this book in specific broke it down in a way that I could easily understand for somebody that was like a beginner in it. And it didn't get too, deep into any certain place that I might have not been able to comprehend. So highly recommend that book for beginners as well. And even if not a beginner, she really breaks things down amazingly. I love her as an author. So that's gonna conclude today's video. Thank you so much for watching and being here. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, let me know you listened. Let me know which book that you want to read. Let me know if there's one in particular that you're like most excited about. And I'll have the links to all these different books in the description. So make sure to check it out and let me know if you read, because it will change your life. Sending love.